What's up YouTube, it's TDSPBNJ here with my first Dota Underlords upload. These games, I guess we'll address them as the auto battler genre, are really taking off right now. We have Auto Chess Origins on mobile, Dota Underlords, and Riot's rendition of the game coming out on live servers in just a few hours. I'm going to try to play them all eventually, but I'm really liking Underlords at the moment. Not only is it available on PC and mobile, but it has some interesting mechanics surrounding itemization that I really like. These games as a whole are extremely intricate, and with this guide I'm hoping to clear up some of that. As always, feel free to subscribe and ask any questions down in the comments. So with that being said, let's jump right into the gameplay. Alright, so this match right here, I made a few really crazy on the spot decisions that really changed the outcome of the game, and I want to kind of teach you guys that, because that's one of the things you have to do. You have to adapt on the whim. So I don't know if you guys saw, but I was given 3 anti-mages off my first draw. We couldn't purchase them all, so we locked and we waited for the next turn for an additional 2 gold where we could get a 2-star anti-mage. This strategy is effective because once I'm going to play against players in round 4, I know I'm going to have a huge power stack with a 2-star. The only downside to this strategy, and I wouldn't recommend it to all heroes, is because they can't all defeat level 2 neutral waves on their own despite being 2 stars. It's just not possible. As you're going to see shortly, Anti-Mage even struggles with it. Losing to the neutral camps isn't necessarily a bad thing though. As you can see here, we have 3 options to choose from. Losing to the neutral camp will eliminate 2 of those options and just leave you with 1, unless you grab that general trait that gives you an additional item during neutral camp. So then at that point, losing, you'll have 2 options, which still isn't terrible. And here, like I said, we pick up those other 2 anti-mages, give us that 2-star anti-mage. Under normal circumstances, you always want to have your party full, 2 out of 2, always. But versus neutral camps, anti-mage is able to solo it. If you're down a player and versus other players in the lobby, if you're down a hero versus other players in the lobby, it could be very detrimental in the long run. So you always kind of want to stack up that team. But we still have another turn before we have to fight against any players. So there we go. We're sitting on about 30 to 40% HP. Not terrible, but Anti-Mage, you know, kind of struggle with that. All characters are not going to be able to do that. So here we have the Mask of Madness. Now, Mask of Madness is good on Anti-Mage, but it's OP on Troll Warlord. So in my mind, I'm already creating different scenarios for me to get Troll Warlord. I strongly recommend Mask of Madness on any character who has a passive ability, because it silences the unit, but it gives them 10% lifesteal and 40% attack speed. So again, Anti-Mage is okay with it. Troll Warlord also gains attack speed through his abilities, so he's an insane hero to have on your team late game with the Mask of Madness. This round here, I'm sticking about a front line for Anti-Mage. So we see the Slaughter and the Juggernaut. Beastmaster and Timber aren't necessarily bad picks here, but we really want the Warrior Alliance buff. Slaughter has the highest base stats between the two, and his ability is going to help us in the long run. If we're facing a player who has a tanky front line, his ability will just shred their armor. And then here, we're given the Warrior Unstoppable ability, but I don't go for it. In retrospect, that probably would have been the best option, but we get the Vitality Booster. Vitality Booster is going to pay off later. It's just going to give us that extra HP on any character we choose. The Unstoppable perk is just only limited to the Warrior class. So the Vitality Booster is going to work on any and everyone to give them that extra bit of tankiness. So we go through this round, fully stacked team, 2 warriors. We're 1 away from an additional warrior buff. Anti-Mage is sitting in the back line, just gonna destroy almost any and everything that we're put up against, unless it's a 2-star. Then we might have a little trouble depending on what hero it is, but he's just putting in that work. The entire enemy team is running assassins, so our front line goes practically untouched. They all jumped on Anti-Mage. Anti-Mage put in the work, and then our front line came to clean it up afterwards. Doing pretty well, decent economy, not too bad at all, and we haven't lost a fight yet, so still at 100 HP. So here we see the Anti-Mage, so we're definitely gonna go ahead and pick that up. Boom. So that puts us 1 step closer to a potential 3-star Anti-Mage. And then I re-roll. I reroll here for 2 reasons. It's relatively early in the game, so I know that this is my highest chance of getting another Animage. And then on the second hand, I was looking for another warrior, and I thankfully got Juggernaut there. So that definitely gives us the alliance buff, huge power spike, and we go into the next player fight. We're able to put in some work. Animage is just chilling, chopping them down, and my front line just tanks for him, really. So the majority of this game, I'm in Discord with a few of my friends, and we're talking about the game in a general sense. And we kind of played around with the idea that this game was about 70% RNG based, in the sense that you don't really control what you get in a draw. But the one thing you do control is your economy. You have to know when and how to spend your gold. You earn 5 gold every turn regardless of a win or loss. If you win, you get an additional 1 gold. If you generate a win streak, you get an additional 1 gold on top of that for 3 straight wins, an additional 2 gold on top of that for 5 wins straight, an additional 3 gold on top of that for 7 wins, and the same goes vice versa. So you can create lose streaks just as well as you can create win streaks. All right, so here I'm not really pressed to purchase much. We're sitting on 10 gold, so we want to generate that interest. Interest is another very important part of the game that I didn't mention earlier. For every 10 gold that you have in your bank, I guess we'll call it a bank. For every 10 gold you have, you accumulate an additional 1 gold per turn based off interest. So generally speaking, my go-to thing, my rule of thumb is I want to be sitting on 10 gold probably through rounds 5 to 10, 20 gold up until 15, and we want to try hit 50 and stay at 50 between the rounds of 15 and 20, and then that will use our interest to kind of just throw points until our level up every now and again. At this point in the game, I'm kind of struggling, not getting too many things that I want, but again, not really a problem. We're just building economy right now. We're just really thinking about that economy. We don't even bother re-rolling. We're really focused on the late game. Unfortunately, we haven't gotten any more Animages, which kind of sucks. We're eventually gonna get rid of the Animage because it's gonna get to a point where late game our chances of grabbing an Animage are just so low. It's really a waste of spot. And considering it's a 2-star and we have an additional 2 on the field, that's 5 gold. That could be the difference between maybe an additional reroll that could get you whatever you need to hit your next power spike. Really important to consider that. It's important to commit to something, but then by the same token, it's also good to realize when it's just the chances are not worth the chances of you getting another Animage aren't worth the reward of getting that 3-star Animage, if you know what I mean. So shortly, I think we take a look over at our alliance buffs and we realize that we don't have much going for us right now. Again, still not getting the roles we want, and there's gonna be games like that. Sometimes you have to step back and just reflect on your build and just kind of create something out of what's being given. You can't stay too stagnant on what you want to do in your mind. So really quick, this footage I actually pulled off stream. I streamed this a few nights ago on twitch.tv. I'll post a link in the description. My Twitch is twitch.tv/psychedelic blackout. I'll leave that in the description for you guys as well. Come through. We're always having a good time. I'm usually chilling in Discord with a couple of my friends and we're just chopping it up, talking smack and whatnot, you know. It'd definitely be a good time to have. We just became an affiliate, so feel free to subscribe there as well. You know, it'll go a long way into making more content. I'm really enjoying these auto battler games, and I can't wait for Riot's rendition of it. The game looks a little different from this, which I like. I like that everybody's just not creating the same game. They're different, you know, at their core. So here we grab that Beastmaster. What that Beastmaster is gonna do is gonna give me a little bit of a beefier front line with the brawny buff. Still trying to create that front line. Animage is still kind of doing his thing, but I know he's gonna fall off, which is the thing. I know he's gonna fall off, especially if I'm not able to get him up to 3 stars. Still sitting at a pretty reasonable position. We're second in terms of our Underlord. Underlord is referred to as the health. So we're still sitting in a good position in our Underlord, and our economy is pretty good compared to all of our enemies. There we're able to grab that 2-star Juggernaut. That's going to be a really big power spike for me. Juggernaut is absolutely insane. Early through most of mid game, we grab a 2-star, another 2-star Anti-Mage there. Not bad, not bad. We're one step closer to our 3-star Anti-Mage, but again, I don't think we actually get that, and we eventually just give up on it. This is a neutral camp. Neutral camps happen every 5 waves. You're guaranteed an item, and it's just really a great time to just like step back, think about weigh out your options, consider your build, how you can improve it, what you're looking for, you know, if you can get it, what you're looking for, and so on and so forth. So boom, here we grab the Indomitable Will. That item, it really has no use whatsoever on my team. I have no humans, but it actually pays off. So here, I'm reading the signs. We're getting a lot of human things. We got the general item for human. We're getting Bloodseekers. We're getting Omni Knights. So I picked them up. I'm thinking to myself, I need to change my build. Follow those signs, guys. If you're constantly being dealt one thing, maybe it's time to change that, because if I'm not mistaken, the heroes that other players have an impact on the heroes that you'll get. So if you're constantly getting humans, that probably means humans are readily available within a pool of heroes that are being dealt to the players in that lobby. So go for the humans. Go for the humans. You probably rack up on those humans. Reverse sense, if you see something that maybe one of your enemies have, try to take that off the table. Try to take that off the table and get it away from them, so they aren't able to get that 3-star plus that 2 or 3-star, you know. So there we see more humans. I think we end up grabbing Alina there. Looking over at our alliance buffs, we're not really doing too much of anything, to be honest. Anti-Mage is pretty much useless in this comp. Yeah, he adds the elusive alliance buff and the demon hunter alliance buff. So wasn't really planning on running an elusive team comp. Personally, I don't care much for elusive team comps, and demon hunters are okay, I guess. I don't really have much of an opinion about demon hunters. Not only are they very limited in the game, but I just don't see the perk as being very beneficial in my opinion. If you have a different opinion, please leave it down in the comments, guys. I'm gonna read all the comments. I want to hear your thoughts, and ultimately I want to improve in this game, because like I said, I've spent countless hours on it over the course of the last week or so, and it's so mind-blowing, like all the different builds you can kind of go for and all the OP strats, if you will. So there we grab another Omni Knight. Still getting dealt a lot of humans. Not the best hand there, but we do want to keep our economy moderately high, so we stop re-rolling dead at 20. We really want to get to 50. That way we're achieving the max amount of interest. So you max out on interest at 50 gold, we're achieving 5 interest a turn. That max interest is really just that extra 5 gold a turn is really just gonna it's gonna go into your skill points. You're gonna put most of those into your skills so that you can level up and get more units on the field. Like I said, more units are good. They're not essential though. The quality of those units is going to be very important. You can't just go ahead and throw a bunch of 1-stars out on the field and expect to dominate. I mean, some comps you probably can get away from that, because there are a few things in this game that are just OP. I can talk about that in the next YouTube video, because that's a whole story in itself. But for the most part, a bunch of 1-stars out on the field aren't going to be good. And even if they are 2-stars, if you're not stacking alliances, then it's sort of useless. So that turn we grab what did we grab there? We grabbed 2 juggernauts, so we're able to get another 2-star juggernaut, and we get an additional juggernaut. So that's really good. We give up on that Bloodseeker just because he's not gonna do anything. He's also similar to the Anti-Mage. He's a 1-star. I only have 1 of him. I'm not going to be drawing very many more of him, and I have so far to go for even the 2-star, not even to mention the 3-star. We're still not getting any Anti-Mages. We sent them 2-star Anti-Mages. We only need 3 more for for another for a 3-star, for another 2-star, thus making a 3-star. We've managed to generate a lose streak though. Lose streaks aren't bad. We're still fairly early within the game, so we're not. The enemies don't have as many stars on the field. That's how damage is generated in this game, is based off the stars on the enemy team. So they don't have too many stars, so we're not receiving too much damage. So generating a lose streak here is actually beneficial in the sense that I'm just gaining more economy in the long run. So another neutral camp here, really good. I don't quite remember what I grabbed here, but I need another Tusk and I need another Slaughter to get them both to level 2, and not getting that either. So we're hurting just a little bit. Do we actually lose to this camp? Yeah, I'm pretty sure we lose to this camp. Juggernaut can't solo them. Goodbye. Sad. So like I said, you're down to 1 usually, but I grabbed the general item that's going to give me another option. So I'm not gonna lie to you guys, in this game I panicked like crazy. I'm like, dude, I'm losing to neutral camps. I'm so far behind. It's ridiculous. Boom, there's another Juggernaut for us though. Really good. We're 1 star away. Here, we're totally giving up on the Anti-Mage. We're over the Anti-Mage. We're not. The dream of getting a 3-star is just not foreseeable. The only bad side to that is the fact that we no longer have a use for our Mask of Madness. 2-star Omni though, really good. Oh, 2-star Tusk and a 2-star Slaughter. That's actually huge. So we lose a relatively important part of our team in the sense that Anti-Mage was putting out damage, and we also lose usefulness for our Mask of Madness. Again, as I said, Mask of Madness is going to be the best for passive abilities, but it's not the end of the world. I don't know if you guys saw there, but I moved my comp into the corner. I really wanted to kind of create a barrier of heroes, if you will, around that Lena, so she could at least get off her ultimate. Her ultimate practically nukes whatever target she hits, but it is a single target ability, so that's fine. Another Omni and another Juggernaut. My luck is finally turning around here. That's phenomenal. It's really good. We put out the Slark to get the scale buff on the field, and we give the Mask of Madness some type of usefulness here. So another fairly good turn on our team, and then our luck turns right back around. We're grabbing the Sand Kings just because they're there, really. I mean, honestly, good thing about this game, and I'm pretty sure all auto battlers are the same, you don't lose any value from selling a hero. So if you purchase a hero that's worth 2-3 gold, you're getting 2-3 gold back. So grab some things. If they're giving you 2 to 3 of a single hero in one turn, grab him. See what he does for your team comp. You know, fill up that empty space in your team. If he's not doing it for you, drop him, sell him. You're not losing out on anything. You're not. You might lose that little bit of bench space, but I mean, if you're in a position where you're just grabbing stuff off the shop, you have plenty of bench space. And there we go. We get the level 2 Sand King. That's really big. We go ahead and throw him on the field. Again, we lose the ability of the Mask of Madness. We use the usefulness of the Mask of Madness as well as the scaled, but it's a 2-star assassin. He's definitely gonna do something for me. We grab the Lycan there because we have both the Savage buff and the Warrior buff on our team already, so he would really just add to that. We also got that 3-star Jug, so we know that's gonna put in some work. There. We're pretty much steamrolling at this point. The majority of enemies that we face now aren't really gonna stand a chance against us. We have, with the exception of Lena, we have an entire 2-star comp with the 3-star Juggernaut. So there's not too many people that can stand up to him. So at this point, we're really just gonna stack up on our economy. Our Underlord isn't the greatest. We took a fair amount of damage, but still within a reasonable range. We're sitting in about 6th place, 5th or 6th place. Let me see one more time. Get another Omni for the 2-star Omni. That's 2-star Omnis. Grab another Sand Kings just to see where that'll take us. And we see the Troll Warlord. I'm gonna go ahead and sell that Lena for the Troll Warlord. Again, we said it earlier, that Mask of Madness on Troll Warlord is just too good to give up at any point of the game. It's gonna put in work. I'm pretty sure for the majority of this game, Troll Warlord was at the top of my DPS charts. So we're actually sitting in 5th place. So still not in a bad position. There are players doing better than us, but there are players doing worse than us as far as Underlord. But those players above us, for the most part, have decent economy. They don't have the best economy, so I'm not too worried. I'm confident in my comp right now and invested a solid amount of gold in creating this comp. And I'm really, at this point, I'm probably gonna beat most of the players I fight against, and I'm just gonna stack economy. So there we go, Troll Warlord 1 star, sitting on top of the DPS charts. But if you look over at my alliance buffs, we only have the Savage and Warrior buffs. Everything else is useless. So we can either add to that to make it something, or we could take away from it and we could just add on to the things we have. So right now we're just kind of cleaning up our comp. We get rid of the Sand King. Sand King, just his DPS is not doing it for me. He got out DPS by the Troll. He's an assassin. I expected a little bit more from him. So we take him out. We put in the Kunkka, who's a human warrior, and we put in the Lycan, who's a human Savage Warrior, if I'm not mistaken. So we try to optimize our build and stick into, you know, only a few alliances. And then we give Kunkka the Vitality booster. We give Kunkka the Vitality booster because he's a 1 star, he's a melee, so he's going to be in our front line. But we want him to survive long enough to get out that ship. That ship is going to be big damage on the enemy team, huge damage on the enemy team. But it's also a coin flip. If you whiff that ult, it's kind of like, oh man, like you're useless at this point. Not necessarily useless in the sense that he still does damage with his melee, but we're really wanting that ship. And then we get the Lycan 2 star, the 2 star Lycan. Get rid of the Slark. We don't have the scaled buff anymore, and we got Troll to utilize the Mask of Madness. So he really isn't much worth having on our team. And we've practically at this point cleaned out our entire bench. We're 21 rounds into the game. This is our comp for the most part. We're really just trying to optimize this comp, getting the star levels up, and adding on to our alliance buffs that we already have. So Kunkka landing a big ult there. Unfortunately, we keep getting they don't call it polymorphed in this game, but we keep getting turned into a little chicken. We keep getting turned into a little chicken. So our Troll didn't get out the best damage here, but he does end up 1v1 a Druid and his bear, and just bodies. And you're like, he's so good. I love Troll Warlord with the Mask of Madness. It's just something insane. And again, we look over at our charts and we see we're sitting in a fairly good spot. We grab another Lycan here, and we don't reroll just to stack our economy just a little bit more. We want to try to get up to 50 so that we can get that 5 interest. But the people above us, they're not sitting on very good economy. We're slightly under leveled, but again, that's where what I said earlier comes into play. The quality of your team is going to be way better than the quantity of it every time, tenfold. So really quick, it's always good to look over at this left bar to see the economy, to see the Underlord they're stacking on. We can see the levels. These flames are their streaks. So blue flames 3 streak, purple flames 5 streak, gold flames, if you will, 7 streak. And then we have the sword and shield. The sword disappeared, so I'll show you guys. Oh, there's the sword. I'll show you guys next round. But the sword and shield. So the sword is who you're defending against. So that's going to be the fight that appears on your screen. So if you lose that fight, you will receive damage. And then there's a sword. So here's the sword icon. That's the player you're attacking. So you can look over at that screen to see how that fight's going. You'll be the team in the top corner here. You'll be the red team, the team with the red HP. If you lose that fight, then the enemy just successfully defends the attack. You don't take any damage from that though. And that's kind of always a good thing to gauge, just because you know that whether you win or lose this fight, it's kind of gonna dictate whether you win or lose the fight that you're defending against them against, you know. So if I was attacking franchise last round, and I won that fight, so I have a pretty good feeling that I'm gonna win this fight, you know. So it's good to gauge that. Even if you win or lose, and if you win or lose the fight, that doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna win or lose the fight against them again. You know, if it's a close fight, it could have been RNG based. Like here, it could have been that Kunkka ult that made the difference there. And that's what it looks like it could have been. It could have been that Kunkka ult that made a world of a difference there. So there's that. A little unfortunate. He ruined our streak. Not too happy about that. But still, sitting on good economy. We're maxed out in interest. No other player in the lobby right now is 50 gold. I don't think anybody's at 10 gold. After this turn, they might be. They're not above 20 gold. That's a fact. That's a big fact. So again, and you don't always have to just necessarily look at the sword and the shield icons. You can look at every player on the team, see what you're faring up against. You know, you can get a general gauge of how you might do against them. And here, I'm pretty under level. I'm sitting at level 6. Most of the players in the lobby are level 8, with the exception of this guy. But he's sitting at the top spot. He's got 87 Underlord. He's not too worried about anything at all. So here, like I said, lose another fight. All good. We can generate a lose streak. We're sitting in last place. Actually, a lose streak probably isn't the best idea. So I'm considering leveling up here. Again, quantity isn't always equivalent to quality, but it'll be good to get another unit on the field. I have some fairly decent units on my bench. I'm waiting for another troll to get level 2 troll. Level 2 troll is gonna absolutely dominate. But if we could get that Omni Knight in there, the 2-star Omni Knight, that'd be really good. But here we pick up a Chaos Knight. Chaos Knight adds the Demon and the Knight buff, if I'm not mistaken. We also grab a Dome and a DK. We go ahead and throw that Omni on the field. We end up leveling twice there just because we were 1 point away from level 7, and then we just threw in all the points to 6. We got that 2-star Troll Warlord, which is huge for us. Like I said, we picked up the Dragon Knight and the Doom, but we ended up keeping the Dragon Knight because we got 2 Dragon Knights and only 1 Doom. The chance of us getting a 2-star Dragon Knight was higher than us getting a 2-star Doom at that point. So we just go ahead and resell that. We give up on getting the level 3 Lycan. That's just not going to happen at this point in the game. And we pretty much use up all of our economy just because we lost that fight. So we're only sitting at 12 Underlord. And if we lose another fight, we're probably going to lose the entire game. So no point in losing the game while sitting on a bunch of gold. So we just spend our gold on rerolls and leveling up. We make a huge mistake here. We put the Moonstone on Troll. Moonstone gives us 80% attack speed, which is phenomenal. Actually phenomenal. But we make Mask of Madness useful at this point. And we lose out on a lifesteal that Troll Warlord would get from Mask of Madness. Although you're sacrificing 10% lifesteal for an additional 40% attack speed, it's just not worthy for me. You're also losing the usefulness of that Mask of Madness. So I think it takes me a turn or two to just realize this isn't working out for me. So I end up putting the Mask of Madness back on Troll, and I'm pretty sure I get a 2-star Dragon Knight and give him the Moonstone there. So here we got a close fight. But Troll just comes in and just tomahawks their entire back line. It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. But again, could have been a lot better had I had that Mask of Madness, you know, useful. You want to try to use your items. You want to try to use them effectively if you can. More effectively than anything else. Still getting a few bad rolls here, unfortunate rolls. We do get that Omni Knight, so we sell the Troll to get the Omni Knight. Getting it, we don't need a 3-star Troll. I don't see it happen, and I don't really want to press for it. Getting that Omni Knight gets us 1 step closer to a 3-star Omni Knight, and getting that 3-star Omni Knight is going to open up a slot on the field where I can go ahead and throw that Dragon Knight in. So that's really the objective now. That's really what I'm hoping for there. That's really what I'm hoping for there. And we're looking over at other team comps fairly well. We just beat franchise. That's huge. So, did we knock him out the game? No, we didn't knock him out the game. But we're fighting pretty well against our enemies at this point. We're fighting really well against our enemies. Spending all that gold was much needed. But here's what I'm thinking about putting that Mask of Madness back on Troll. I'm just like, this item is being wasted right now. What do I do? What do I do? And there she is, the 3-star Dragonite. I think we end up replacing Dragonite with Troll. No, with Kunkka. Oh, and we give him the Moonstone, and then we give the Mask of Madness back to Troll. There's that Omni Knight selling the Chaos Knight. No doubt. Get that Omni Knight. We'll put Kunkka back in once Omni Knight becomes a 3-star. And boom. Also, instead of selling the Chaos Knight, I probably could and should have just locked it. But again, mistakes were made. Still a strategy I'm trying to learn from. That Lich ult does some work for franchise, but unfortunately, he just doesn't stand a chance against my Troll. I'm attributing all my victories to Troll at this point because he's just doing so much damage. And then there we are. The Omni Knight gets the 3-star. Kunkka gets back in the game. And we grabbed that Chaos Knight that we sold. So we could have had a 2-star Chaos Knight a bit earlier, but we eventually get him anyway. So it's fine. So still keeping an eye on the competition, seeing how everyone's doing here. We're slowly approaching a neutral wave, I believe. Yeah, so we get a neutral camp next wave, which is really good. Kind of I don't really need much more of my comp. I'm fairly confident in my comp's ability to dominate any team that I fare up against at this point. So I think once we get the 2-star Kunkka and the 2-star Chaos Knight, those are the things we really want. Once we get those though, we're pretty much sitting on gold, potentially looking to level and potentially look to add a 5-star, a tier 5 to our comp. If we get a tier 5 hero, we'll just throw him in our comp. More than likely. Still generated no one else in the lobbies on the streak. There's that Chaos Knight, but no one else is on the streak. No one else has economy really, and despite having the lowest health, I'm on a streak. So I'm fairly confident that I could beat anyone in this lobby. So again, not really pressed for much of anything. Franchise in on 22 gold. Spends that immediately. Not sure what he could have spent that on. I think he spent it on leveling up. Yep, there's the level 10. So he spent that on leveling up. Probably not the best idea, and that's because we're facing a neutral camp. So do you really need that level up now? No. You could have sat on that 20 gold, generated an additional 2 interest there, and just gone from there. But guys, don't make any drastic plays right before neutral camp. There's really no need. 9 times out of 10, your army is going to be able to defeat that neutral camp. And if you have 10, 20, 30, 40 gold, you want to be able to stack that interest at least until the next turn, at least until round 31. So franchise, if we look over at franchise, he still lost to the neutral camp. So maybe spending that gold was the best decision. But we grabbed a sacred relic there and put that on Kunkka. I know I said earlier I wanted Kunkka to at least be able to get his ship off, but the sacred relic plus Kunkka and the 2-star Kunkka, oh, so fortunate. So luck finally went well, but the 2-star Kunkka with the sacred relic ships are gonna be insane. That honestly, in my personal opinion, that's practically GG. That's practically GG. So nothing on my bench. I don't think I spend very much gold from this point forward in the game. As you can see, franchise is level 10, has 10 heroes on the field, but we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 1-stars. No, yeah, we have 5 1-stars. So quantity over quality. No, but franchise is actually a personal friend of mine, so I'm kind of clowning him a little bit. But quantity over quality. Quality over quantity every time. Got to get some 2-stars out there. Got to get a solid team comp. Got to get your alliance buffs off. Omni Knight leading the team in damage that game. Them fat heals, baby. Omni Knight's too good. Love him. I love him. So not gonna reroll here. We're not losing. We don't feel pressed. It's whatever. That's kind of a nonchalant attitude on my behalf, which you can't have in this game. You can't have in this game because this game is all about late game. It only takes one roll, honestly, that's gonna turn the entire game around. You know, like in my case, me getting that Omni Knight was huge for me, because me getting that Omni Knight, I had 2 Omni Knights on the field. So once I got that last 2-star Omni Knight and made him a 3-star, that not only gave me a power spike on Omni Knight, but it also opened up a slot on my field. And then I got that Kunkka and eventually turned him to a 2-star Kunkka. So just a few turns, it can change. But the only reason I kind of have that attitude in this game is because no one really has any economy. So I don't foresee them making any big plays. But RNG could have came and just kicked my teeth in there. Like, honestly, one turn is all it takes. You hear that dun 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 dun, and you look up at your screen and you see somebody has a 3-star whatever, and they just come and they body everyone on your team free. Just easy. So just be careful with that. I'm trying to stack economy. It looks like most of them are desperate in spending the economy they get every turn. But if in this scenario I do lose a fight, it probably won't be by a landslide. So I might be able to get 2 losses out of that 12 HP because my team is so strong. So if they win and they only have like 1 or 2 heroes on the field, then I'm not going to take a huge chunk of damage. And once I lose that first time, I'll spend that gold that I'm stacking up right now, that 21 gold. We're on a 7 win streak, so we're racking up on a ton of gold. And the other players in the lobbies just can't respond. They really just can't respond. I'm trying to think, what do I do at this point in the game? Yeah, we continue to sit on gold. I think we eventually hit level 9. And we throw a Bat Rider on our team, just to finish our team off. Bat Rider gives us an additional Knight, so we'll hit level 2 Knight Alliance buff, and then we'll hit level 1 of the Troll buff. So just giving our Troll Warlord a little bit more of attack speed, so that he could do the thing he does. And then we also put the Bat Rider in the back line, and they just can't reach our back line. So despite Bat Rider being only a 1-star, he does a decent amount of damage. And that goes to another point, positioning in this game. I kind of alluded to it earlier with me moving my team into the corner to protect the Lena, but positioning is a really underrated strat. I wouldn't even say I have it completely down packed, but it's definitely something to look in. You have to be, if you're losing a fight constantly and in your mind you're just like, looking at his team, I just don't see how I'm losing this. It's probably the position of your team. It's probably the positioning of your team. Your team's backline damage is probably dying too soon. They're not secure. Or your team's front line can't beat the enemy team's front line just because the backline is doing damage. So you need to get an assassin on your team to get to their backline and destroy them. Or you need to not be on the exact opposite side of their team. You need to force their team to walk towards your team a little bit more, so that backline can kind of scatter outward, and it'll make it easier for you to reach them. There's a lot of different things about that, and hopefully I learn a bit more about it. I'm gonna do my research and hopefully come back to you guys with another video about positioning in this game, because that's going to play a very important role, and I don't think a lot of people are paying attention to it at this stage of the game. You know, this game's only been out for a little bit over a month now. Still a lot of things to learn, without a doubt. A lot of things to learn. Itemization, another important thing. I think having somewhat of a background in Dota, I played Dota way back, and this game has brought back so much nostalgia for the game. I transitioned to League, probably the worst decision of my life. We're not gonna talk about that though. But yeah, it's bringing back a lot of nostalgia, and I have a general sense of what items do. So there's that Bat Rider. We hit level 9 just to throw him on the team. Boom, and that pretty much grab a 5-star. We said we were looking for a 5-star earlier, but Batrider will just offer so much more to the team that we end up not even putting the Enigma out on the field, I don't think. I'm pretty sure the Enigma doesn't do much on the team. Side note, Enigma, I wish he had his black hole. That'd probably be OP, but I wish he had his black hole. The little AoE debuff slash damage over time is a little corny for him to be a tier 5, in my personal opinion. You guys can tell me what you think down in the comments, but I personally don't like it. But yeah, as I was saying, just having that background in Dota, I'm a little familiar with some of the items do, but there's a lot to learn about this game. You gotta look at the items, you gotta look at the abilities, look at the base stats sometimes. I'm not asking you guys to go be geniuses on the game and know every stat, but when it comes to a position like when you're faced with two similarly matched players, you know, like the decision I made with the Juggernaut and the Slaughter, you know, I just knew that Slaughter had the better base stats, so I ended up going with him, and I didn't end up keeping him, but you know, it arguably that decision got me to where I am in this game. You know, I don't regret too many decisions in this game. There are a few things I did really wrong, but again, those hiccups probably were the decisions that got me to this point. So being able to kind of adapt and learn on the fly is really something that can't be stressed anymore in this game. And this guy Snoop Dogg, he was in a top spot for the longest time, but never had very much gold. So I knew that eventually late game he would just fall off. He was just gonna fall off. And here we're still not really looking for much. We grabbed those lichens like a turn or two ago, with the possibility of maybe trying to turn them into a 3-star, but it's not likely. Not likely to happen at all. Grab the chaos there. Maybe it could happen. RNG could be on our team. She never really is though. She doesn't like me too much. But yeah, guys, I do go ahead and win this game. There's a few more minutes left in the gameplay. Yeah, I definitely want to start getting out more content for this game. There's a lot to learn. I feel like I know a fair bit, and I just want to kind of inform you guys about different things. I want to see the community as a whole get better at this game. You know, maybe there could be a competitive scene revolving this. That'd be so lit. I think this game really has the potential to take off. I think it really does. And Teamfight Tactics has already been like, Teamfight Tactics is Riot's version of the game. It's in beta phase right now, and it's been pretty high up on the Twitch charts right now. So I know once it releases to live servers, it's going to be huge. But I'm hoping people don't forget about Underlords, because I really like Underlords as well. But yeah, this game's going to take off, and I want to kind of be a part of that. I want to kind of definitely be a part of that community. So if you guys would, like I said before, leave a like, subscribe, drop a comment, stop by the Twitch whenever. You know, I'm a little inconsistent with my stream schedule, but I definitely want to get a little bit better, and this game is going to be the thing that encourages me to stream a little bit more. So stop by, drop by, say what's up, man. I love chatting with you guys. I love talking, answering your questions, asking you guys questions, learning from you, everything. So I'm gonna let this rock out for a little bit longer. Troll Warlord just dominating, just absolutely destroying everyone right now. I look over at my alliance buffs. I'm thinking to myself, man, if I could get one more warrior in there for that warrior alliance buff, that'd be so cool. Ooh, look at the doom. Look at the doom. We just don't have the space for the dome, and we'd be sacrificing something that we don't really need to sacrifice at this point. You know, we're winning. There's really no need. We're not just winning, we're pretty much destroying them. So there's no real need to change your comp. Don't just go willy-nilly flip-flopping your comp unless you see something wrong with it. You see an area for improvement. Don't just go doing it, because I think, well, no, you can. I take that back. Experiment with things. you know, but don't throw the game either. Like, I feel like I was in a fairly good spot to win this game, so I didn't want to do anything that would throw the game necessarily. Trust me, I know a lot about throwing games. I used to play League daily. Low joke, by the way, guys. So we beat that neutral wave. What do we get off of this neutral wave? Vanguard? No, we go ahead and grab that Bloodthorn. Definitely grab that Bloodthorn. Whenever you're, I don't know if this is a good thing to go by, but whenever you're in a position like that where you got multiple damage items, I think I had the Daedalus and the Bloodthorn there. I just went with the Bloodthorn because it offered me a silence and it did offer me more damage, but initially I literally just looked at the tier. I was like, oh, that's a tier 5, the rest are tier 4s. This has got to be better. Pretty noob thing to think, but hey, I can't help being a noob. We hit level 10. I forget we hit level 10 here. We do hit level 10. We throw the Enigma in. Again, not a huge fan of the Enigma. Personally, not a huge fan of him at all. But what can I do? You know, we get a little something out of him with his ability, then throwing in another Lycan or Chaos Knight wouldn't have been terrible there, but Enigma was a little bit better. I clicked off the screen, but Enigma actually whiffed his ability there. That's the thing about heroes with big abilities like that is whiffing. Lich, on the other hand, he cannot whiff, and his ability does so much damage. Chain Frost is actually insane. I love Lich. If I got Lich this game, I'd have definitely thrown him in the mix. Tidehunter's there. Not a bad buy either. Yeah, definitely. Like I said, get rid of the Enigma. He's not doing it for me. Tidehunter, put him in the front line. Give him that Vitality booster. Again, the Vitality booster is good if you have a relatively weaker melee hero with a big ability. You just want him to survive long enough to get that ability off. Tidehunter, it's just you can't lose out on his ability, and we'll see that shortly. Vitality booster kicking in. He still has a bit more HP and gets off his ability. Kunkka whiffed the ult. Another more whiffing of the ults. And that's game, guys. That's game there. I really hope you guys were able to learn a little something from that video, and I can't wait to see you guys again, whether it be in the next video or in the Twitch chat. So I'll see you guys later. Peace.